Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's Strive Scan virtual college exploration. I'm glad that you can all join us. My name is Melissa O'Sullivan. I'm the Director of College Counseling at Immaculate Heart Academy and an NJACAC board member. We're excited to have you join us today. Just a couple of housekeeping things. Please use the Q&A button to ask your questions. Our presenter will get to those questions most likely at the end of the presentation, but feel free to put those questions in. Just be sure that your camera and microphone are off as well, that you're muted and your video's off, so that way the panelists can't see or hear you. Also, just so you know, there are more presentations that are being run over the course of this week and next week. So definitely check out the NJACAC website to sign up for future presentations. And also this will be recorded, so please just be sure that you're aware of that, and then you can access those recordings at a later time. So at this point, I will turn it over to our presenter, Joseph, and enjoy the presentation.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited to be able to take some time to talk to you all about the University of Arizona. I'm going to share my screen here. All right. So again, my name is Joe Elliott. I'm the Associate Director of National Recruitment with the University of Arizona. I'm a regional recruiter, so I'm actually based full-time out of New Jersey, where I was also born and raised. So I always enjoy the fact that I get to work primarily with the students from my home state to talk a little bit more about the University of Arizona. So if you're familiar with some of these Strive Scan events, some of them do have a moderator along with them to answer any questions. Unfortunately, it is just me tonight. So if you do have questions, please throw them into that Q&A, and I will do my best when we're done with the presentation to answer all of your questions that you might have had during the presentation. And of course, as we go through, we'll be able to answer any questions when we're all done. So the University of Arizona, where are we? We're in Tucson, Arizona, which is about 2 hours south of Phoenix and about an hour north of the US-Mexican border. When you're thinking about our top 10, this is a great map just to kind of give you perspective of where Arizona is, where Tucson is, but also where those top 10 feeder states are. So traditionally, it's about 60% of all the students that come to the University of Arizona will actually come from the state of Arizona. Everywhere else, all 50 states and about 140 countries are represented in that 40%, so everybody else. So you'll see we get a lot of kids from the West Coast, the Midwest, New Jersey, just squeaks it in at our top 10. Now these numbers are a little bit lower than in previous years. A lot of that was due to COVID-19. On an average year, New Jersey typically brings about 120 students from New Jersey out to the University of Arizona. So there is a pretty strong representation. But when you're thinking about those East Coast folks, it really does start in Northern Virginia and kind of runs its way all the way up to Boston. So I like to say, if you live within an hour of the New Jersey Turnpike, you probably are going to end up thinking about the University of Arizona. And when you get there, you will be impressed that we are just one campus, which kind of makes it an awesome environment. So to give you this great way of thinking about our campus is to imagine yourself looking down at a coffee table, which is just a giant rectangle. So that coffee table is about, in perspective, is about 1 square mile. So you'll have everything and anything that you need at the University of Arizona located on one centrally located campus. As you can see from this picture, Tucson is very flat, which makes it really nice for the two popular ways to get around campus, which is biking and walking. And I often talk about it is because most people do walk or ride their bikes, although there are plenty of opportunities for public transportation and shuttles within our campus community. But one thing to remember is in Tucson, the average temperature during the school year is about 85 degrees. We have about 320 days of sunshine. So it does make for a very open campus that's very enjoyable to walk through. Now, thinking more about where Tucson is and what kind of makes Tucson a cool place, it really is that mountain landscape. So when we're in New Jersey, if we're in North Jersey, we can look out and see Manhattan and all those tall buildings. If you live in South Jersey, you can see all of those tall buildings in Philadelphia. When you look out into Tucson, you can see our mountain ranges. So off in the distance of this picture, you can see downtown Tucson, This point is Mount Lemmon. So it's the tallest point in southern Arizona. It's about 9,600 feet above sea level. This is about 1 hour by car. So it is a quick escape for a lot of folks. And to really think about like that temperature, it does get hot in Tucson. In the summer, it could go up to upwards of 110 degrees. But at the same time, when it's 110 degrees in downtown Tucson, Mount Lemmon, it's about 65 degrees. So this is definitely that great escape where you can enjoy tons of biking trails, hiking trails. There's even a ski resort located on Mount Lemmon. It's the only place in southern Arizona that you will get snow. So if you are into skiing and snowboarding, there's definitely that quick escape to be able to enjoy during the school year. What makes Tucson really favorable for me personally is the food. Now, being from New Jersey, I pretty much live by pizza on Fridays and bagels on the weekend. Now, if you're saying to yourself, like, I have to have those are really important. I've gone and tested out almost every pizza restaurant in Tucson and nothing compares. But what we really do well in Tucson is our Mexican cuisine. So a couple of years ago, the United Nations, they actually designated the city of Tucson as a world city of gastronomy. We are the only world city of gastronomy in the United States. And it's based primarily off of our Mexican American food. So thinking about tacos and guacamole, like we literally have the best located within Tucson itself. And to enjoy some of those amazing restaurants, the downtown corridor is less than 2 miles away. And it's very easy to get to. Again, biking is popular, but a lot of students will commute to the downtown corridor by a streetcar. So in that bottom right-hand corner, you will see a streetcar that actually originates at our university teaching hospital, which is on our 1 square mile campus. So it will take you from campus down 4th Avenue, which is like the historical part of Tucson, and then into the downtown area where there are an abundance of music halls for like live music, great restaurants, and a lot of our students will eventually move from our on-campus housing to off-campus housing within the downtown corridor. A big thing to remember is in Tucson, the cost of living is much more affordable in Tucson than it is anywhere else in the country. So thinking about Arizona by the numbers. Now, we have a lot of really old schools in our area. Seton Hall comes to mind because that was in the same town where I grew up. Rutgers, University of Pennsylvania, these are all schools that have been around forever. Now, we're kind of new in that scope. So we were founded in 1885. But the cool thing is we were actually a state school before Arizona became a state. So back when we were just a territory. So we're the only land grant school in the entire state of Arizona. And we're a pretty large size school. So our total attendance is a little under 46,000. But let's focus more about that 36,000 undergraduate students. So by being a big school, we do a lot to really help support students in their student experience. So our faculty to student ratio is about 15:1. And 70% of all the classes at Arizona will actually have less than 30 kids. So I like to think of it like typical size of a class is anywhere between 35 to 40 kids. So you might have some of those large lectures. That's just kind of how it is with a big school because we have about 7,500 first-year students and a lot of you all will be taking a lot of the same general education classes. But to really help support students with like large lectures, every lecture that a student will take will also have a discussion. So let's say you have a general ed lecture, it's philosophy. It's taught by a professor. You're going to meet that professor every week. On that Friday, that end of the week, you'll actually be able to go into a room with about 25 to 30 students and a graduate student. And they'll talk to you more about the content that you had at the beginning of the week. So that lecture material will then become more of a discussion. So that's just one of the ways that we love to talk about the idea that about 85% of all of our first year students return for a second year. We're going to talk a little bit more how we get to that 85% through a lot of our offices on campus to support students. So a lot of students, a lot of degree opportunities. So in total, we have about 250 or 260 degrees and we have 20 colleges on our campus. So the degree search is an amazing tool for our undecided students and students that just need a little bit more education in terms of like what's the best major. So you can go to that degree search and type in biology. Biology will appear as part of our College of Science, which is our largest college on campus with about 25 degrees. You can then learn about every single class you are going to take as a biology major. So just imagine if you're undecided, but you have a couple of ideas, you can open multiple browsers with multiple majors to see which ones have some similarities or which ones are completely different. This really helps students kind of narrow down what's the best major. Thinking about our 7,500 first-year students, about 35% of our incoming first-year students went into a STEM-based program, which is a pretty great number for us. About 17% went into Eller College of Management, which is our business college, which was ranked in the top 20 for public business programs. But what's really well known in the state of Arizona is our health sciences programs. So we're the only university in the United States that has two separate teaching hospitals. One is located directly on our campus. The second one is located in downtown Phoenix. So with those health sciences, so like medicine, nursing, public health, pharmacy, these are all really strong programs at the University of Arizona and things that the state of Arizona really looks to us to kind of be the leaders on. So graduating with a skill set, this is something a lot of our alumni often talk about. So like, what does graduating with a skill set means? It means there's just so many opportunities at Arizona that we couldn't even count them all. We would need hours to go through them. But I really want to talk about a few examples of some of our alumni that came to Arizona, had great internships, had great research programs, had great study abroad opportunities, and are now doing some amazing things in the real world. And a lot of that was driven by a real world experience that they got in Tucson. So College of Fine Arts, Performing Arts College, it has an amazing dance program. It also has an amazing theater arts program. So for years, a gentleman by the name of Ben Crawford, he was active in about 300 performances a year that were offered through the College of Fine Arts. He was a theater arts major, so he did a lot of performing. When he graduated from Arizona, he went out into the world and he started looking for that perfect role. He had some great roles, he had some small roles, he had big roles. Then he finally got an audition and he went and did that audition and he did really well. Then he became an understudy. And after being an understudy for a couple of years, he finally was able to do something that only a select few people have done. He became the Phantom of the Opera, and Ben Crawford is still the Phantom of the Opera today. And he talks a lot about those experiences that he had at the University of Arizona through the College of Fine Arts that made him feel ready because he was graduating with a unique skill set. Another great person is is Ben Crawford. I got all tongue-tied. Another great man is somebody that spent time at the University of Arizona in our College of Fine Arts. He went through and he became a history teacher in his local high school. And eventually he became the superintendent of Las Vegas School District. And now he's the chancellor of New York City schools. So going from one small program to another one, really looking at all the opportunities that he had while he was at the University of Arizona that really helped him propel into such a unique role. Research is also another large aspect of the University of Arizona. So we're a member of the Association of American Universities, which is a group of about 63 public and private colleges throughout North America. So you have schools like MIT, Harvard, Princeton, the University of Arizona. What this really means is that we dedicate ourselves to the research that we do. So as a Tier 1 research university, we do about $687 million worth of research a year, which ranks us in the top 35 of all schools in the United States. It also means that we do more research than any other school in the state of Arizona. And research really does vary from depending on what major you're in. So we offer through Eller College of Management as a border state, tremendous amount of economic forum research that we do. A big one is through our College of Education, where we're working with local school districts to kind of enhance the learning experience for local students. One of the most popular ones is called the OSIRIS-REx. So 4 years ago, the University of Arizona, which partners with NASA all the time, launched a rocket, which in 2 days will land on an asteroid. So in 2 days from now, there is a rocket that was designed by students at the University of Arizona. That mission control is run by students with NASA on our campus. Will be landing on an asteroid. And from there, it will pull out core samples from that asteroid and return it back to the University of Arizona, where our researchers are going to be able to study millions of years of history. So thinking about those opportunities, working with NASA on our campus property is one of the many things that we do at the University of Arizona to support not only our graduate students, but our undergraduate students that are interested in getting involved in research. So if there's anything I really want you to take from our time today, is the idea of being a student-centered program. So it really starts with our university president, Dr. Robert Robbins, who during his first year at Arizona came up with a 10-year strategic plan. He came up with 26 pillars. The number one pillar, one of the most important things, was the student experience. So above and beyond everything else, he believes that your experience at the University of Arizona is going to be the most important thing. And we do that through a variety of different tools and resources throughout the University of Arizona. So a lot of students will take advantage of our CAPS program to get some mental health check-ins. A lot of students will talk with our student engagement to learn more about on-campus work, off-campus work, and internships. A lot of students will get involved with the SALT Center, which is a standalone academic support building that helps encourage students with a little bit of assistance, especially in that first year, that big transition year. So SALT means Strategic Alternate Learning Techniques, and it's designed to work with the student through a learning specialist that student meets with up to 30 minutes per week, every week, to help with some of those more technical skills like time management. The SALT Center is an outstanding resource, which also has a separate application. And if you do have any questions about the SALT Center, please ask me at the end, and we can talk a little bit more about that application process. Students in the SALT Center also have access to certified tutors, which you can reserve to have up to 2 hours the same tutor every week. Now, if you're not in the SALT Center, there's still an abundance of opportunities for tutoring. A lot of those are driven through our think tank, which is our free and fee-based tutoring. Think tank is available throughout our campus. So there's one in our student union, one in our library. There's even a couple of think tanks located in some of our larger dorms. So getting access for some of this tutoring, for some of the support, is really something we drive home. And it's actually driven in the first Friday of the first week that you're at the University of Arizona. So every student in their first year has to go to a program called UA-CLIC, so University Arizona Clicks. This seminar is designed to show students all of the academic support levels that they can get. So it'll explain what SOS means. I'm sure you've all been shopping online before, and you see that little bar come up that says, "Can I help you with something?" That's what SOS does. It's built into our website so that when you're looking around for an answer, somebody's there to tell you what the answer is to your question. There could be the A Center, which works with a lot of our undecided students or students looking to get into the professional field of like pharmacy, medicine, law. So there's a lot of advising. We even have an outstanding program that's all for our first generation college students to help them go through the process of being a first year student all the way through graduation and beyond. Now, we offer opportunities for all of our students to live on campus through 23 dorms spread out throughout an entire campus. They definitely vary in shape and size, so some are big, 1,200 students, some are small, 100 students. Some have doubles, some have singles, some have triples. Housing really depends on what you're interested in. So there's a lot of our dorms, they have like theme living. So you might be a business student and you want to live with other business students. There's floors within some of our dorms just for you. There might be the desire to be involved in more outdoor recreational activities. So there's an outdoor enthusiast floor. It really just depends on what's the best fit for you. Now, we unfortunately don't have dorm rooms for every single first year student, but of the ones that do want to live on campus, about 70% of our first year students tell us and show through numbers that they live on campus and they typically have a higher GPA and a higher four-year graduation rate. So living on campus, while it might not be for you, is something that we strongly encourage students. Now that's 70% of freshmen live on campus, that's all freshmen. It's about 92% of all of our out-of-state students. So this is definitely something important to think about, especially in that first year. Now, a couple of big things to know about. We don't require any of our students live on campus. And much earlier in the presentation, I talked about that idea that a lot of students tend to move off campus because it's a little bit more affordable. Now, if you wanted to live on campus in your first year or second year, there is a housing priority deposit date. So thinking about our students that are in their senior year, that are applying to Arizona, that are coming to Arizona. If you pay a $150 non-refundable deposit by May 1st of your senior year in high school, you will be able to pick where you want to live on campus. Now, if you were to wait, we would still have space for you. The big difference would be, I paid my housing deposit on May 2nd. Now I have to give my top 5 choices of where I'm going to live on campus. And then we'll do our best to place you in one of those top 5 options. The Honors Village is brand new. So this is less than a year old. It's actually 13 months old. So this is a traditional living, learning environment. So previously the Honors College was spread out throughout our entire campus community. Now we've centralized that learning experience into the Honors Village. So about 1,100 of the 5,000 honors students live in the Honors Village. So the top floor are all these really nice apartments for upper class students. And as you move down, we move down in grade. So when you get down to first year students, it's a more traditional dorm environment. So with our Honors College, again, it's about 5,000 students of that 36,000 make up our honors program. And it's spread out through all of the majors. Most of the students in honors are typically going to be science students. What's cool about this building is not only do you get to live here, but you have your honors faculty, honors advisors, honors mentors, and classes located in this building alone. So sometimes you don't even have to travel very far to get involved in some of those honors programs. What's more important about honors is just the idea of taking a large research-based school and having a small liberal arts feel to it. So I mentioned earlier, our total faculty to student ratio is about 15:1. Within the honors, it's more like 10:1. So you have a lot more opportunities for a much more intimate learning experience. And it starts with the first year with a Catalyst program, which is for all first year honors students. And this is a seminar that typically has shared reading. Sometimes we bring in the author to talk more about the book, but it really talks about working on those critical thinking skills that really become applicable to your specific major. Now, what's Arizona most well known for? Basketball and football. Those are kind of our big national sports, and those are things we have a lot of love for at the University of Arizona. So to help support our student athletes, the largest student section in the Pac-12 is called the Zona Zoo. It's about 13,000 Arizona students that make up the Zona Zoo, which is ranked as the #1 student section in the Pac-12 each year for the last 10 years by ESPN. If you're not interested in sports, that's okay. There's still plenty to do and there's plenty to see. We have over 600 student-run clubs. Our largest one is going to be our student government, followed by our Greek life, which is about 20% of students. Every club is student-run, which means even if there's not a club for you, all you need is a couple of friends and you can start your very own club at the University of Arizona. We also have 2 amazing rec centers. The one on the right is brand new, and it happens to be located across the street from our Honors Village. It's a little bit smaller, and it's lacking a few things like basketball facilities and an 18-lane heated outdoor pool that the rec center on the left has. Definitely 2 popular places because people like to get out and they like to burn off some steam in between classes. The rec center on the left also has a think tank. It has a restaurant, it has a bookstore, it has a masseuse for students, and it even has all of our intramural sports. So definitely a lot of unique things to really help students kind of blow off some steam. Thinking about the application, the most popular way to apply to Arizona is through our application. Students also have the option to apply through the Common application and the Coalition application. All applications get looked at the same. It's really up to what the student is most comfortable using to apply to Arizona. When it comes time to apply, students do not need to submit a high school transcript. So you will be able to self-report all of your coursework, including your senior year courses in progress. We're not taking SAT or ACT scores, so we have always been a test optional school, so you do not need to submit your test scores for the academic review process. The personal statement is optional, and we do not take letters of recommendation. Once you've completed your application, you will pay the $80 application fee or request a fee waiver, and you hit submit. So Arizona is a rolling admission school, so our application has been open since August 1st, and we typically take about 2 to 4 weeks to review a student for a decision. So once you've submitted your application, 24 hours later, we will tell you, thank you so much for submitting your application to Arizona. You then get access to what we call a future Wildcat account, which you can then track your application in real time through that review process. And what the review is really focusing on is these 16 courses. So these 16 courses are made up by the Arizona Board of Regents, which tells us how do we admit students. So looking at all of these, you say 16, I think I have that. Now, an important thing is we only look at grades from your freshman, sophomore, and junior year. So you might be thinking to yourself, but my 4th year of English is in my senior year. Now, we will not use the grade from your senior year as part of that initial academic review, but we will give you credit if it's in progress. So we take these 16 classes and we build what we call a 6th semester core and weighted GPA. This 6th semester core GPA, if you have a 3.0 or better in all of these courses, you have been assured admissions to the University of Arizona. Now you might say, well, I don't know if I have that. That's okay. Students that fall below that 3.0 in all of these 16 courses, they get placed in what we call a comprehensive review, which means 2 admissions counselors will review your application in more detail. They're going to look at academic trends, and if you've submitted that personal statement, they'll look through that personal statement to give a little bit more perspective of any academic struggles that you've had at Arizona. The Honors College has a separate application. For those of you interested, it's just honors.arizona.edu. Now they do require an essay, which is a personal statement. There is a required activity resume, and then you do need to get a letter of recommendation from a teacher or a counselor. They are fully test blind, so in years past, they have required test scores as part of that review, but they will be test blind for fall 2021. Now we have an early non-binding decision, so if you get that application by the 16th of November, you will get your decision, which is non-binding, on December 11th. Students ultimately have to submit their application no later than midnight on February 15th. We will then notify those students no later than March 10th of 2021. So you've been admitted to Arizona. You'll get this great acceptance letter in the mail. You'll also get an update through your future Wildcat account. Your first step will be to set up your net ID, which is your university cat mail, so your email address. You will not be an official Wildcat until you log into your next steps and pay or defer your enrollment fee, which is $425. You can also pick your virtual orientation date, and then you can pay that $150 non-refundable deposit to secure your spot on campus. That's all done through your Next Steps account. Arizona offers a guaranteed tuition plan. So this upcoming fall, our tuition is $36,600. Whatever you start at will be fixed for all 4 years that you're at the University of Arizona. This is a great way to budget out your cost each year in terms of what you have to pay to attend the University of Arizona. To assist our out-of-state students, we offer an Arizona Tuition Award. So that GPA on the left is going to be a 6th semester core and weighted GPA. So again, we do not use your grades from your senior year in terms of awarding the Arizona Tuition Award. So if you have a 6th semester 3.50 GPA, you will be awarded a $12,500 Arizona Tuition Award, which will be renewable up to 4 years every year at the University of Arizona, as long as you maintain a 3.0 and a minimum of 30 credits per academic year. We also have Scholarship Universe, which has hundreds, if not thousands, of scholarship opportunities that are available to all our admitted students and enrolled students. So you can go onto Scholarship Universe using that cat mail address, set up a profile, which takes about 45 minutes, and every week we will email you any scholarship that's become available. A lot of students often ask, is it good to apply early? I will always say yes, because the best months to look for scholarships in Scholarship Universe is October, November, December, and January. If you wait until February and March and April, you're not going to see as many. So it's really good to start applying early so that you can look at all of the scholarship opportunities that Arizona has to offer. Now, we know we're an awful long drive from getting out to Tucson to visit, and you would be disappointed to learn that when you made it, we don't currently have any in-person tours. So we have suspended all in-person tours for the time being. Once those tours become available for in-person, we will definitely let you know. But until then, a great opportunity to learn more about Arizona is through our virtual tour. We also offer online info sessions through all of our academic colleges, so business, science, medicine, nursing. Monday through Friday, they offer opportunities for you to sit through an info session with some of our academic advisors and college recruiters to learn more about specific programs at Arizona. We also have a great team of student ambassadors. So every day you could sign up to meet with our student ambassadors via Zoom to learn more about what it's like to be a Wildcat from a current Wildcat. Those same student ambassadors are constantly uploading content to our YouTube page, and they're also always offering the opportunity to ask a Wildcat through our Instagram page every Tuesday afternoon. You can find all of this information by just going to arizona.edu and hitting the button that says visit virtually. And then of course there's me. My role with the University of Arizona is your regional recruiter. So if you do have questions about the application process, if you've been spending some time on our website and just can't find something, please feel free to email me at any time or just give me a call. This is my work cell phone number, so you can call me, you can text me. And one of the bonuses is I'm on the same time zone as you. So if you had a question at 7 o'clock at night and really needed to talk to me, all you'd have to do is call our campus, which you can find their information on our website, and they're 3 hours behind. So there's always going to be somebody available to talk to you. So how would the 6th semester GPA work if you graduated in 3 years? That's a great question. So what we would do is we would take all that self-reported coursework that you put in, and we're gonna just look at, we're gonna take credits from 3 years of one course. So if it's math, we're gonna take the 3 highest grades out of that 4 years that you've completed. And I would say if you're graduating from high school a year early, I would strongly encourage to email me. And then I would also encourage you to write a personal statement so that when we get your application, we have a little bit more context to what actually, what's going on with your application. Any other questions you can all think about?
Hi, everyone. Back again. I hope you had a great session with Joe. If you don't have any other questions, I just want to let you know that once we exit out, there will be a short survey. So we would love and appreciate if you could complete that for us. But I believe Joe gave you his information, so you can always follow up with him with any further questions. Joe, is there any last minute things that you'd like to add?
Nope, I would just, I really appreciate you all taking some time. I know it's like right around that dinner time. So I do really appreciate the opportunity for you all to participate in this. Hopefully I've had the opportunity to maybe talk to some of you in person, and if not, I really do hope that you will reach out just so that we can have some more future conversations about the University of Arizona.
Great. Well, thank you all. And like I said before, this is recorded, so you can always refer back to it. There is that survey, and there are other sessions that we will be hosting this week and next week. So definitely check out the NJACAC website to see if there's any other sessions that you'd like to attend. Thank you all and have a great night.